the Prime Minister or the Tory government had planned to sort of ban pupils from changing gender or identifying as a different gender at school. In other words, they were going to row back on the idea that boys could decide they were girls and come to school in dresses and vice versa. Well, now he has U-turned on that and decided to allow pupils to self-identify because he's been advised by his backbenchers that not to do so would put him on the wrong side of history. I mean, I totally sympathise with kids who are genuinely gender dysmorphic, but I'm a bit concerned, or shall I say worried, about the idea that every kid on a whim could say, I think I might be a girl, I'm going to wear a dress. I mean, I'm not sure that just completely embracing every kid that says, I want to be a different gender is a healthy thing to do.
Yeah, or in fact, I'm a little girl and I think I'm a little boy because I don't like what's happening to my body. And in fact, there are an awful lot more girls that identify out of their gender than boys, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And this is sort of a misconception. But that number has gone up in the last few years by 3,000%.
Wow.
So I guarantee you that this is a social contagion. You look at certain schools and they have 10 times the national average. Now, that's not because that particular school has 10 times the number of children that have gender dysphoria. It's because it's a social contagion. And so I think that's what's terribly important. But I mean, the couple of pieces that I read was that, yes, he's sort of rowing back, but at the moment he's not quite sure one way or the other. He's getting two sets of advice. I think they're still trying to stick to the idea that they wouldn't allow mixed-sex toilets, so they wouldn't allow boys and girls toilets, which I think is really important because we've seen real problems with that. We've seen girls, writing petitions, girls not going to the toilet all day long because they're too embarrassed, or, and the same with sport. It's really important that we keep sport sex-based. I think what's the most important thing with all of this is that we don't lie to our children. You cannot, as a human being, change your biological sex. It is impossible. So whatever biological sex you are, male or female, and there are only two, hermaphrodites, human hermaphrodites do not exist. You have one or other gamete, a small one or a large one, throughout the whole of your life, and that will never change. So it's really important to our children that we don't give them misinformation. And I think that is what's terribly important as well. And I think we have to make it, understand this is making life terribly difficult for teachers who have children who just want to cause trouble as well. So as long as this is associated with parents and parental consent, and that isn't also being, missed off, because obviously parents are responsible, and so parents must be involved in these decisions and these discussions, then, I think if you've got a child with genuine gender dysphoria, then we have to treat that really sympathetically. But the problem is that line is really grey. Yes. And you will have kids that will think it's really entertaining to be able to make their teachers' lives a misery because every day they're changing their gender, or they're now them and they, or something else. And so I think it creates so many problems. And I think teachers already have such a tough job. This is just one they don't need.